It's Friday, everyone. What do we do on Fridays here at the Hint Hive? That's right, we smash the patriarchy. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Hint Hive, amplifying women's voices. I'm your host, Kelly Hint, queen bee of this hive, your feminist life coach, and psychotherapist in your pocket. And today we are diving into a cultural script that has shaped generations of women, the fairy tale. You know the one. Sparkly gowns, rescued damsels, happily ever afters. There's a reason why today's episode is titled Divorcing the Fairy Tale, Letting Go of Unrealistic Relationship Expectations. Because this one is personal, powerful, and long overdue. So grab your coffee, your tea, your power smoothie, or hell, a mimosa. Maybe I'll join you. Because we are unpacking the myths that have kept us small and rewriting the rules of love on our terms. All right, my friends, let's start with a hard truth. We have been sold a romantic fantasy since before we could even spell the word relationship. Think about it. Fairy tales and Disney movies practically raised us on the idea that being chosen by a man was the pinnacle of a woman's existence. From Snow White to Cinderella, we were spoon-fed this belief that our happiness hinged on being rescued, completed, or validated by someone else. The message was loud and clear. Our story begins when a prince arrives, not when we decide to take up space, own our worth, or create a life on our terms. And, my friends, it's not just the cartoons, the rom-coms, the storybooks, the songs that dominated our playlists. They all taught us to wait. Wait to be seen. Wait to be chosen. Wait to be saved. That one magical day, someone would come along, wave a metaphorical wand, and make everything okay. Cue the birds, fireworks, and closing credits. But what happens when real life doesn't look like a scripted happily ever after? Spoiler alert, it rarely does. Is any of this sounding familiar? It's gotta be, right? The idea of being completed by another person isn't just unrealistic. It's a setup for self-betrayal. And quite honestly, it's not fair to the other person. It plants the toxic seed that your wholeness lies in someone else's hands. So when that dreamy fairy tale slams headfirst into real life, with the weight of rent, clashing libidos, emotional labor, unspoken resentments, and the simple fact that we are all gloriously imperfect humans, we don't just feel let down. We feel broken, ashamed, and often spiral into blaming ourselves. Like, what's wrong with me that this didn't work out like the movies promised? But here's the truth. There's nothing wrong with you. There is something wrong with the fantasy. So let's go deeper into why this narrative sucks so hard and talk about where the fairy tale fails us. First, the fairy tale sells an illusion of effortless perfection and permanence. It promises that love, if it's meant to be, should flow without friction. No arguments, no growing pains, no real work. just endless passion, synchronized desires, and Instagram-worthy harmony. It whispers that once you find your person, every crack in your life will be filled, every sadness soothed, and every wound healed. But here's the thing. That kind of love does not exist. Not because love isn't beautiful, but because it is real. And real is not perfect. My friends, healthy love is not magical. It is intentional. It's not about finding someone who completes you, but instead building something sacred together, brick by brick. It takes daily effort, emotional fluency, and mutual respect. Fairy tales fade at the first sign of conflict. Real love, on the other hand, deepens through it. And my love is deepening about as strongly as it can right now. My husband and I are going through some stuff, some family stuff. And I'm not going to lie. I had a moment where I thought, holy hell, is my marriage going to survive this? Because things are happening with extended family that are outside of our control. And it's creating a lot of stress. But I'm telling you, my husband and I have been through some huge issues, some big stressors, and some conflicts with each other. And each and every time, our love deepens. As surreal as it seems to me at times, it does. And so I know that as we navigate this latest stressor together, we'll get to the other side of it, and we will appreciate each other even more than we already do. Getting back to that fairy tale. This damn thing does not teach us how to have hard conversations. You know, those gut-wrenching, vulnerable moments where truth is messy but necessary. It does not teach us how to navigate the deep, jagged edges of trauma, or how to stay lovingly connected through long, mundane seasons of boredom, postpartum depression, grief, or massive life transitions. Instead, we're handed a glossy highlight reel that prioritizes passion over partnership, sizzle over substance, chemistry over compatibility. We are taught to chase the emotional high, not the steady hand, to confuse obsession for devotion. It's codependency dressed up as destiny, and we are expected to treat it like the gold standard of love. And let's call this out too. These narratives often center heteronormative, white, cisgender, patriarchal ideals. Where the hell is the representation of queer love, neurodivergent love, interracial relationships, polyamory, long-term companionships that don't include marriage or kids? It is time that we broaden the lens. And here's a fact check for you. According to the American Psychological Association, 40 to 50% of marriages in the U.S. end in divorce. That does not mean that love is a failure. It does mean that we are finally recognizing that staying in something unhealthy just to tick the forever box is not success. So let's do a little self-check, shall we? You might still be hooked on the fairy tale if you believe real love means never arguing. If you think it's your job to fix a partner or wait for them to change. You're embarrassed to be single as if it means you're unworthy. You fantasize about being chosen more than choosing. Or you believe suffering proves love, that if it's painful, it must be passionate. But ladies, here's the truth. Love does not require you to abandon yourself. Real connection asks you to bring your full self, not shrink it to fit someone else's fantasy. It is time to rewrite the script. So, okay, how do we detox from all this toxic glitter and start creating something real, raw, and resonant? Well, if you've listened to other episodes, you know that I'm going to talk about some action steps. So, here are 5 badass actionable steps to break free from the fantasy and start building relationships that actually work for you. Step number 1, name the narrative. Awareness is always step 1. So take some intentional time to reflect and journal. Ask yourself, what did I learn about love growing up? What did my parents, caregivers, or early relationships model for me? What did I absorb from Disney movies, fairy tales, teen dramas, church sermons, or classroom lessons? Make a list of these messages. Then, dig deeper. Are these beliefs rooted in fear, fantasy, or patriarchy? Do they empower me or disempower me? Do they serve my current values, or are they keeping me in patterns that no longer fit? Getting brutally honest here lays the groundwork for the shift. Because if we can name the narrative, we can start to rewrite it on our damn terms. Step number 2, recenter yourself. You, my queens, are not a background character in someone else's love story. You are the main event. So it is damn time to start living it. Live like you are the main event. This means showing up for yourself first, prioritizing your joy, protecting your peace, and owning your goals with unapologetic clarity. What lights you up? What have you been putting off until you're in a relationship or have more time? Start now. Take yourself on dates. Reclaim your mornings. Speak up more often. When you lead with your truth, you naturally start attracting relationships, romantic, platonic, professional, that reflect the real you, not the filtered version designed to please. Becoming the protagonist is not about being perfect. It is about being present and in the driver's seat of your own damn life. Step number 3, learn real relationship skills. The fairy tale skips this chapter, but let's be honest, it's the most important one. Real relationships are not built on destiny or drama. They are built on skills. That means learning how to set boundaries without guilt, how to say what you need without apology, and how to listen without defensiveness. It means getting comfortable with hard conversations and unlearning the idea that conflict means failure. Understanding your attachment style, whether you are anxious, avoidant, secure, or a mix, can be a game changer. Dive into books like Attached by Amir Levine to unpack that, or Set Boundaries, Find Peace by Nedra Tawwab for tools to reclaim your emotional space. Want to go even deeper? Try the 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work by John Gottman or Polysecure by Jessica Fern if you're exploring non-monogamy. The point is, if we were all taught algebra, we can damn sure learn communication, emotional regulation, and healthy connection. I don't know why we weren't ever taught relationship skills, because for me, okay, maybe I'm biased because of the work that I do, but I feel this is one of the most fundamental, foundational skills to learn. And as always, if you are having a hard time learning relationship skills, ding, 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 that's what I'm here for. Give me a call. Let's work together. Let me tell you, it gets me so excited to help people and to watch them have healthier relationships. So do not be afraid to reach out for help if you feel that you could brush up or learn some healthy relationship skills. All right. Step number 4, embrace the mess. Yep. Real love is not a filtered Instagram photo or a curated rom-com moment. It is messy. It is mundane. It is doing dishes side by side after a long day, miscommunicating and learning how to repair, navigating awkward conversations with in-laws, and holding each other through the unglamorous everyday storms. It's being honest when you're exhausted, being kind even when you're frustrated, and continuing to show up, not because it's perfect, but because it matters. Stop measuring love by the butterflies and dramatic highs. Instead, start honoring the steady, soul-safe middle, the part where you feel seen, supported, and safe enough to be your full, unfiltered self. That, my friends, is where the magic actually lives. I told a friend one time, when you get past the butterflies, when you get past that new relationship smell, and you actually get to the deeper parts, you will know a happiness like no other. Because there's something about being able to be your full, authentic self with a partner. It's magic. I do not have to hide myself from my husband. Not anymore. We've worked through all of that nonsense. And let me tell you, I don't want to give anyone the illusion that I have a fairy tale life, because I sure as hell don't. And I don't want anyone to think that I have the perfect marriage, because I absolutely don't. My husband and I have hurt each other deeply in ways that other people may not believe we could find ourselves back from, like reconnecting. But we have. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to stay together and stick it out. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying simply that that's how it worked in my marriage. Because we both had the desire to learn from our mistakes and to make the changes necessary to stay together. And I do not regret it for one single second. All right. Step number 5, redefine relationship success. We have been told that the gold standard of love is sticking it out till death do us part. But let's challenge that. What if success isn't about duration, but about depth? A 5-month situationship that woke you up to your worth can be just as valid, just as transformative as a 30-year marriage. Success is not just about staying. It's about growing. It's about whether you felt empowered, respected, and emotionally safe. Ask yourself, did this relationship help me heal or hurt? Did I feel seen, valued, and honored for who I really am? Not just the version of me that made someone else comfortable? If the answer is yes, even for a season, then that relationship served a sacred purpose. We need to stop shaming endings and start celebrating the chapters that shaped us. Love does not have to last forever to be real or worthwhile. All right, how about a bonus step? So, this one, celebrate your damn self. Loudly, radically, and without apology. Romantic love is just one flavor of connection. Platonic love, soul friendships, spiritual devotion, creative fire, and the deep well of self-love, all of these are sacred, sustaining, and wildly valid. Normalize treating yourself like the love of your life. Make your space beautiful just for you. Throw on lingerie or cozy sweats because you deserve to feel amazing in your skin. Celebrate your wins, your weirdness, your wisdom. Don't wait for someone else to bring you flowers. Grow your own damn garden. Build a life that feels vibrant, rich, and whole from the inside out. Because a full life does not have to look like a rom-com. It just has to feel like home to you. All right, this week's quote is a wonderful one from the legendary Bell Hooks. I know, I go back to her quite often. She says, when we choose to love, we choose to move against fear, against alienation and separation. The choice to love is a choice to connect, to find ourselves in the other. Ooh, take that in, queens. Real love requires courage. Not the storybook kind where you slay dragons or climb towers, but the grounded, vulnerable kind where you show up every single day. It's a daily practice of choosing presence over perfection, of being radically honest with yourself and compassionate with others. It starts with showing up for yourself, owning your needs, tending to your healing, and living your truth. Only then can you show up fully for someone else, from a place of fullness, not emptiness. That is the real bravery in love. All right, some final thoughts. Let's be real. You don't have to abandon the idea of love, but you do have to be willing to burn down the version that keeps you small, voiceless, or endlessly waiting on someone else to choose you. That fairy tale we've been sold? It's outdated, and honestly, it was never written with our full power in mind. You don't need a rescue. You need respect. You don't need a knight. You need someone who sees you, hears you, and meets you where you stand. In your wholeness, your fire, your imperfections, and your growth. Love that shrinks you is not love. It is a leash. And you, my friend, were not born to be tamed. Or maybe what you really need isn't a fairy tale ending or a partner to validate your worth. Maybe you just need you. Fully, radically, unapologetically. The version of you who stops shrinking to fit inside someone else's narrative. The version who knows that self-love is not a consolation prize. It is the main event. Maybe you've been the hero all along, just waiting for your own damn permission to rise. Because, my queens, you were never meant to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's fantasy, no matter how gilded the illusion. You were born to burn bright, to question the script, to smash the glass slipper if it does not fit. You were born to write your own epic, one that's messy and magnificent, full of plot twists, self-rescue missions, and joy that doesn't wait for permission. So toss the old storyline. Your story begins wherever you decide it does. Written in your own bold, brilliant hand. All right, ladies. If this episode lit a fire in you, pass that torch. Share this with your bestie, your sister, or that coworker who's stuck in a situationship that she's not happy about. And join our Facebook group, the Hint Hive Podcast, where we keep the conversation going with more real talk, empowerment, and support from badass women like you. And you know what? I'd like to give a little shout out right now to the Hint Hive Facebook group. I have had to back off a little bit from my online presence because of some family stressors that are happening that cause me to not have a whole lot of time anymore. And so the queens of the Hint Hive group are just amazing. They continue to keep that group alive, even when my participation is minimum. So, ladies of the Hint Hive, you are fabulous, and I love you dearly. And like I told you in the group, with my last post, depending on when you're listening to this, you might be confused, but I take you with me. In my absence from my online presence, I carry each and every one of you badass queens in my heart. You are all with me as I fight the good fight. Because it's because of fellow queens such as yourselves that I have the passion and desire to do this. And for the rest of you who are not members of the Hint Hive Facebook group, get over there, join. The link is right in the episode description of this podcast. And if no one's told you today, ladies, you are enough. You are whole. You are loved with or without a +1. Until next time, my friends, ditch the tiara, own your voice, and remember, you are the damn hero of your story. This podcast is powered by Kelly Hint Empowerment Coaching, as well as Kelly M. Hint LMHC and The Cranky Counselor. To find out more about coaching services, head over to CoachKellyHint.com. If you'd like to know more about the psychotherapy services I offer to individuals within the state of New York, you can check out KellyMHint.com. And if you'd like to learn more about aromatherapy, you can check out TheCrankyCounselor.com.